I'm becoming a parent. What do I do? No, seriously, what do I do? Headed into this stage of life, I have a feeling becoming a parent will be one of the most important things I ever do. And yet to do it, there's not much of a barrier to entry like there are for so many other big life events. I'd like to drive a car, please. Okay, to do that, you're just gonna need to take a written test and then a driving test out in the field so we can make sure you're not a danger to society. I would like a job, please. Do you have 12 to 16 years of school? Yeah, I went to school. Okay, what about 3 years of work experience? Well, I need a job first to get experience. Sorry, mate, can't help you. May I have a small child whose survival and well-being is totally dependent on my actions and maybe that of one other person, please? What are you asking me for? Just get out there and start fucking. Turns out you can just have a baby, and there's nothing resembling an official system to make sure you're qualified for that job. And you don't have to scroll far on social media to be reminded of that. But what if I do want to be a good parent? Well, that's something I've got to figure out on my own. But thankfully, there's a near limitless array of materials to learn from online, and I'm sure that none of it could be damaging to the well-being of children or parents. Oh wait, no, there's actually a ton of that. There's a lot of that out there. And today we're going to explore it. Let's start our journey as I did, well-intentioned and knowing we wanted to base our parenting on science. Because science is how we learn things about the world based on evidence. And if we're not basing our parenting on evidence, what are we basing it on? Intuition? That's for moms. So I did the reasonable thing and searched parenting science on Jeffrey Bezos' library of books and found this little gem. It said the things I was looking for in the title and featured an adorable baby on the cover, so I dove in. As I read, I learned about just how fragile my baby's brain is and how I need to do everything I can to foster her development and prevent creating a sociopath. And to avoid that, we should co-sleep and put our baby in the same bed as us. But that last claim gave me pause. As little as I know about parenting, I do know I've heard somewhere before that sleeping in the same bed with your baby is bad. But that was probably just some unscientific advice I picked up somewhere, and certainly not from a parenting science book like this one. And while I'd prefer for us not to share our bed with the baby, it seems that's what the science was saying. And as my teacher Mr. Hillman taught me, in science, you can't be afraid of where the evidence takes you. And in this instance, it was taking me to never having sex in my bed again. I assumed. Still, just to be sure, I decided to do a quick search and see what the rest of the internet had to say about it, and oh no, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends against sharing a bed with our baby because of research showing it leads to higher rates of sudden infant death syndrome. That do sound serious. So what was I reading in this science-based book? Well, I went to the comments on Amazon, specifically the negative ones, and saw people upset, saying that this book was really nothing more than the author pushing the attachment parenting style. Damn it. Just when I thought I could become a dad and leave the world of style behind, I learned I'd be entering a new one, the world of parenting style. To understand what that is, we'll have to return to the 1960s, a time when parenting primarily consisted of sending your kids to the store for cigarettes, telling them to stop crying, and hitting them with straps of leather. But that all changed with the emerging work of clinical psychologist Diana Baumrind. She was the pioneer of parenting fashion whose work hit the runway, took off, and crashed into nurseries around the globe. Sorry for mixing metaphors. Diana defined parenting styles as the ways parents consistently interact with their children, and found that parents using different kinds of parenting styles lead to different kinds of adults. The styles she outlined varied across two dimensions: responsiveness and demandingness. Responsiveness is the warmth, affection, and sensitivity a parent uses to respond to their child's needs, while demandingness refers to the relative amount of control they exert over their child's behavior. Diana then placed three different parenting styles on this axis: authoritarian, permissive, and authoritative, strangely neglecting the last quadrant, which was added later, which came to be known as neglectful parenting. Coincidence? Neglectful parenting is low in responsiveness and low in demandingness. These parents are uninvolved and indifferent, though it's not like they'd leave their kids alone unattended in a car because they've already left them at a fire station. Permissive parenting is high in responsiveness and low in demandingness. These parents are incredibly sensitive to their child's wants, which they mistake for needs and satisfy immediately. A person using this style usually wants to be friends with their child more than a parent, but the kind of friend who won't say no, set any boundaries, and avoids conflict at all costs.
I'm not like a regular mom, I'm a cool mom. Right, Regina? Please stop talking. Okay.
Authoritarian parenting is low in responsiveness and high in demandingness. Authoritarian parents rule with an iron fist, but instead of a fist, it's a carefully color-coded chore chart and nightly curfew they enforce with military precision. They believe in discipline above all else. Imagine a drill sergeant using the tactics meant to prepare soldiers for the theater of war on children.
Bullshit, it looks to me like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress.
And then we have authoritative parenting, which is high in responsiveness and in demandingness. These parents have clear rules and expectations for their kids, while also responding to their needs with warmth and sensitivity. They let their kids make their own decisions, make mistakes, and then use those mistakes as learning opportunities. This is the good one. And that is what makes these parenting styles funny to me, because they call them styles like there's a choice to be made between them when there's really only one good option. It's like if GQ wrote an article titled 4 Styles for Hitting the Town, and the options they gave you were forgetting to put on clothes, underdressed, overdressed, or dressed for the occasion. I wonder which one I'll choose. That's right. Nude. And I mean, how shocking was this to anyone? Haven't parents always known that parenting was kind of a balance between sensitivity to what their child needs and then boundaries set for them? Is any parent surprised by hearing you need to respond to your kid's hunger while not caving to their desire to eat cookies for every meal? Still, this is how the idea of parenting styles entered the world, and I wish they'd stayed that way because oh my god, there are so many now. Attachment parenting, gentle parenting, helicopter parenting, Montessori parenting, routine parenting, positive parenting, unconditional parenting, spiritual parenting, concerted cultivation, free range, natural, active, soft, elephant, new age. I'm sure there's more, but that's what I got after Googling for a few minutes, and I'm getting the feeling already that I have when I try to shop for cereal. Cheerios Very Berry sounds good. Oh, but what about Strawberry Banana? Or Berry Oat Crunch? But I thought all these had oats and that's what made them heart healthy. Oh, but then there's this veggie blend Apple Strawberry. Is that really healthy? Or there's Blueberry Banana, but these are fruits, not vegetables. You know what? I don't need cereal. The difference is I can walk away from cereal, but I can't do the same in deciding how to parent my child because that would be choosing the neglectful parenting style, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going with that one. So I was forced to read about all these different parenting styles, and you know, they all kind of feel like subgenres of the authoritative parenting style, and they remind me of the way people talk about music at festivals. So, you're into authoritative parenting? Oh yeah, bro, who isn't? Nice. So, are you like more into attachment core or like gentle core? I don't know, man. I'm really just here for the drugs. Drugs? Kids. Sorry, we're talking about kids. Elephant parenting? Apparently that's where you're supportive and nurturing and careful not to push your kid too hard, which is an answer to tiger parenting, which is more firm in its approach. Do these sound familiar?
The tiger mom is tough, the elephant mom is very soft. That's why I like the middle approach, where the parent is tough, but loving.
The middle approach? But that's what these elephant and tiger parents think they're doing. They just have different ideas about where the middle is. Elephant parents think the best balance is here, tiger parents think the best balance is here, and free range parents think it's in a pasture or something. And the reason everyone's aiming for the middle is that's really the best parenting science can do at this point. There's no definitive answer on whether or not to let your kid watch another episode of Bluey when it's time to go to bed. Do you not allow it? Get them marching up the stairs to brush their teeth? Do you negotiate and say they can, but they won't have time for a bedtime story? Or do you just cave and push bedtime back 15 minutes? All of these are acceptable depending on how close you are to having a minty bee. And because of this discretion parents have to constantly use, it makes sense that parenting is much less a hard science and much more like the world of fashion. Do what you think is right, wear it with confidence, and if it's off trend, you'll damage your children. And people will be really upset about it. And boy, do people get upset about it.
Are you ready to be nice?
No!
Okay, we're gonna sit out here until you're ready to be nice. Laura Lane. Okay.
What?
Can you use your inside voice?
No!
We don't need to yell. Hey, no, hands are not for hitting. We don't throw stuff. Hands are not for hitting. I don't like that. That hurts. You need to keep your hands to yourself and be nice. Are you ready to be nice?
No!
Okay, well then we're gonna stay out here until you're ready.
This video of a mother gentle parenting caused quite a stir, and the original got over 20 million views on TikTok. And somehow mom is able to keep a calm, dead inside demeanor while her daughter practices for the WWE. And while I might find balance somewhere else, I do see a mom trying to balance sensitivity to her child while setting the boundary of not letting her go inside until she calms down. But I wonder what the internet thinks. You need a couple more chairs thrown at you so you can wake up and discipline that kid. Never wanted to punish a kid and a parent at the same time more in my life. That's a future Karen right there. And the gentle parents showed up to say what she's doing isn't actually gentle parenting. This is not gentle parenting. This is what we call permissive parenting. We are building a generation of doormat parents and kids who think they can do whatever they want and it's okay. This isn't gentle parenting. This isn't parenting at all. People think gentle parenting means you can't be stern or punish your kids. Even self-proclaimed gentle parents feel like this mom should be doing more to nip her child's behavior in the bud, and people were more than happy to share how they'd respond. That kid would be on her ass. Gentle parenting are for gentle kids. Get the belt. A quick switch to the legs will stop that real quick. That's been in my family since the 1800s, honey. You know what else has been in people's family since the 1800s? Dying of dysentery. Maybe we should leave some things in the past. But oh, how quickly people get back to threatening kids with blunt objects and straps of leather. As soon as she hit me with that chair, she would have went flying. No ma'am, she would have found out real quick what happens to people who can't keep their hands to themselves. I would have slapped the taste out of her mouth for doing that. Kid slaps, I slap. Then I wait. What? But call me crazy, giving a toddler 5 across the eyes seems like we've moved too far in another direction. But I get wanting more control, and there are plenty of moms who find balance with far more of it, like the tiger mom we mentioned earlier.
A few years ago, a mom wrote a parenting book that freaked out a lot of people.
Extreme parenting.
They were upset about the woman who called herself Tiger Mom.
The surprising details of her strict parenting methods causing quite a controversy.
Controversy because of her strict rules.
Your daughters were not allowed to attend a sleepover, have a play date, be in a school play, complain about not being in the play, watch TV or play computer games.
Right.
No sleepovers, no play dates. Got it. This kid is not allowed to have friends.
This seems mean.
I don't think so at all. I think the message is, I believe in you. You are capable of so much more than you realize. And if you just stop whining and, don't give up, you can do anything you want in your life.
To teach her 2 daughters that, she forced them to practice violin and piano for hours.
Kids have to practice 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a day. And I think for a lot of normal American parents, that's inconceivable.
Yes, it is pretty intense. A 5-hour practice day after the average 7-hour school day only leaves about 4 hours left for travel to and from school, doing homework, what I'm sure is a very long list of chores, and daydreaming about the social life you're not allowed to have. Amy Chua espouses what she calls a Chinese or Eastern parenting philosophy, and here are a few of its tenets. An A- is a bad grade. Your children must be 2 years ahead in math. You must never compliment your children in public. If your child ever disagrees with a teacher or coach, you must always take the side of the teacher or coach. The only activities your children should be permitted to do are those in which they can eventually win a medal, and that medal must be gold. And Tiger Mom is very specific about the psychological profile this kind of parenting is intended to produce.
You know the secret of success. It's 3 things.
The first is a sense of exceptionality. We call it a superiority complex. The second element, which is a dash of insecurity. I'm not quite good enough yet. I shouldn't just sit back.
It's contradictory. Superiority complex, insecurity.
Steve Jobs is a perfect example. He had such a superiority complex, but all of his friends also described him as deeply insecure. I think that's what creates this kind of chip on the shoulder, this goading feeling like I need to show everybody, I need to prove myself. The third element of the triple package is impulse control.
Can your child sit still and concentrate on things that won't bring rewards for years?
Okay, impulse control, that's great. I don't have a problem with teaching kids how to focus. We have an attention crisis right now. But I want to talk about the other 2 pieces of her triple package that she dedicated an entire book to. The superiority complex and the insecure sense of self. Because I feel like I've heard these 2 traits paired together somewhere else. Oh yeah! People with narcissistic personality disorder have an inflated sense of importance and alternate between grandiosity and vulnerability. Or you might say, a superiority complex and insecurity. Looks like we could change the title of her book to Superiority plus Insecurity plus Impulse Control equals a narcissist with impulse control. And it's wild to me that someone would aim for these traits specifically in their kids, not because it doesn't lead to achievement, because I actually agree with Amy that it does, but because I feel like it misses the mark on why we want our kids to be successful in the first place. We want our kids to have material success and feel able to make an impact in the world because we feel like that will lead to a happy and fulfilled life. But you know what doesn't lead to a happy and fulfilled life? Being fueled by feelings of grandiosity and insecurity. A toxic mixture of feeling you're capable of anything, which ensures whatever you do will never be enough and that you'll never live up to your potential. Being driven by these ingredients may lead to success, but it's also a recipe for needing a therapist and controlling your impulse to reach out to one. And I would know it's taken me a lot of therapy to deal with my own feelings of not being enough. A feeling that persisted after leading a production team at a media company and becoming creative director of a YouTube channel with over 10 million subscribers. And I am not trying to pretend like my life has been some kind of runaway success, but I felt like I had achieved enough without it moving the needle on my happiness to realize I was being driven by a dirty fuel that would never take me where I wanted. But that's just how I feel about it, and maybe this hits a little too close to home for me. So what does the internet think? I'm a strong advocate for discipline, but even for me, this seems too harsh. It giving, why don't my kids talk to me? She probably shouldn't be surprised when her kids never call. I think I would choose cancer over having her as my mother. God damn! Also, my mom wanted me to study piano for 4 hours that day, and I stopped playing piano. Do you think the two things are related? Superiority, big ego. Insecurity, low self-esteem. Worst type of people to have to interact with, in my opinion. Maybe because they're narcissists? I'm not a parent, but I'd imagine there should be a middle ground between a tiger mom and a Gen X, let the kid do whatever he, she wants that should happen. Gen X? I thought millennials were the problem. But still, the top comment on this video is, again, calling for balance, showing that people think that Tiger Mom has missed it too. So you know what? Enough with the different flavors of authoritative parenting. Let's go on to one that's aimed straight at the target. And I like this video because it shows us what not to do before showing us the right way to deal with our kids getting in a fight.
Hey, you will not hit your brother. Do you hear me? We don't hit in this house.
Okay, maybe that was a little intense.
Are you feeling angry? Is that why you hit your brother? Okay. It's okay to be angry. We need to use gentle hand. Honey, we can't hit. Baby, please don't hit. Mama's heart feels sad whenever you hit.
Cringe. Okay, that's not it. Show us the right way.
Come here, Bubba. All right. Okay, well, I'll be right back. I brought your magnet tiles. I'm gonna go help your brother calm down because he's still pretty angry, okay? I'll be right back.
All right, separate the kids, bring one upstairs, then go back downstairs to check on the other kid.
I'm gonna sit with you for a little bit and help you work through this, and when you're ready, we'll use your calm down chart, okay?
All right, now go back upstairs and sit with the kid for a little bit to help him calm down. And then we're gonna use a calm down chart.
I need to be calm to help you calm down, so I'm gonna hum a little bit and you can join me if you want.
You know that I heard that that is actually the only face that you can make that has no emotion on it? Anyway, deep breaths and humming. So hopefully we're calming down already. Do we even need the calm down chart?
Can you find a picture on this chart that looks like how you feel?
Okay, we do need the chart. First, the child names their feelings. They just need to pick one of 14 options.
Did you know that all of your behavior communicates one of these needs? What do you think your body needs right now?
Now we get the child to name their needs. We have 5 different groups with 15 different subgroups.
You were just in the red zone because you were feeling angry and out of control and you wanted to hit and yell.
Okay, now we need to get them to pick a nervous system zone, which is distinct from one of the feelings that we picked earlier. See, anger was listed in the first section as just an emotion by itself, but here it's listed in a zone with several other emotions that are completely different, like afraid and panicked. It makes sense.
Let's choose a calm down helper to help your body get that energy out.
Now we'll choose one of 10 calm down helpers to help get the energy out. I know reading classics always calms me down after being punched in the face.
We're gonna skip over our grounding today and we're just gonna go straight to a healthy behavior.
Skip over grounding? Okay.
So you were wanting to hit your brother, so instead, which one of these would you want to do?
And finally, we'll choose a healthy behavior to do instead of hitting your brother, which again is somehow distinct from the calm down helper. See, in the calm down helper, you could select squeeze a squishy, but in the healthy behavior, you can pick squeeze a pillow.
That is how you discipline without damage or disconnection.
There was discipline in there? I mean, wow, that was easy. Right, guys? This seems complicated. Way too many words. This will not keep their attention. Okay, but like, what if you're in public and your kid hits someone else? You can't spend ages doing that. You need to stop it quickly. Oh my God, a chart. It's hit again and there's consequences. Why do I feel like this is making it way more complicated than it needs to be and making parents feel like they need to spend money on something? But the confusion kit, I mean, the calm down kit's only $10, but still I feel you. Maybe this is a balance between responsiveness and demandingness, but maybe it's way too much of both. My thing is like, who has the time for this? Like, when we were cavemen, you literally just had to act right or you would die. How has it become so involved? That's a great question. Things have become way more involved since our caveman days. And I think it's because back then they were just trying to keep their kids alive. And now we're concerned with trying to get them to thrive. And while it's good most parents aren't constantly worried about getting their children something to eat or keeping them from being eaten by wild animals, we do have a lot more decisions to make. One reason for that is that we actually have the ability to think about how we raise our children, whereas our cave-dwelling ancestors were just trying not to starve. We've learned so much as a society, and if we hadn't learned so much about mental health, maybe we wouldn't now be so worried about damaging our kids' psyches that our efforts to protect them have become a joke on the internet.
But he is not a poo-poo head, and he is not stupid, okay? No, you are both dickheads.
When I look at all these different videos of parents on the internet, the thing that's really clear to me is that everyone is trying really hard to do something really difficult. And it's no wonder people are trying so hard when all you have to do is pick up a book on parenting styles that tells you letting your child cry for a moment too long will permanently damage their ability to form relationships as an adult, which then sends you into a spiral learning about parenting styles and making an entire video about it that you're trying to wrap up now. And it all makes me wonder if we're trying too hard now. Most people today can see how problematic a helicopter parent's hovering is, and studies are coming out on how parents' efforts to be perfect are burning them out and causing the very mental health concerns for their children they were trying to avoid. So maybe the kind of parenting style we need to adopt is more like a sweatsuit. It's relaxed, it's functional, it's going to upset some people if you wear it in public, but it's still a suit. That's pretty profound. You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, thanks, Brad, for getting this parenting video done just in time for me to know how to parent my new baby girl. And she actually told me that she'd appreciate it if you guys would like and subscribe, because any success of this channel will ultimately affect her life. And, do you really want to deprive a baby of that? Think about it.